Hello, everybody. Welcome to another update from Escape from Tarkov. Well, less of an update. I'm gonna again, if you haven't seen the entire Tarkov TV episode, I do suggest you go watch it. But this is new stuff past that as well. So yesterday I came out with the video talking about the two new rogue bosses that were revealed to be in the water treatment center on Lighthouse. There was another one released after that, and it was pretty cool. I'm gonna show that off in a second. I want to say hi, and Kara wants to say hi too. She's we both just kind of woke up, starting our day a little bit late. Hello. Um, so the reason I didn't upload this yesterday or record this yesterday at all was because there's supposed to be 4 bosses on Lighthouse, and we're like, well, maybe they're gonna reveal all 4, but I think they have, and I think we'll talk about that in a second, but I'm pretty sure they have released all 4. You gotta read between the lines a little bit. And honestly, it took me a second to read between the lines. So, if we take a look at this, we have Bird Eye. And if we look at his background, I think it's very clear to see where he is. He's up in the, I would say, I guess that's the, probably, because of how Tarkov is and where Lighthouse is, that's probably going to be the east side of the map, so up in the mountains, or that overlooks the water treatment center. Probably, I would assume, in the front. I would say where most people take out these rogues from on the right hand side when you're looking at the water treatment center. He's probably going to be up there, more than likely shooting anybody that's in the village, as we've seen a lot of player snipers do at the beginning of when Lighthouse was first revealed. So, back in August and maybe a few times before that, we've actually seen the symbol for rogues kind of thrown into some of the teasers. And I think we've seen this, the lower half of Bird Eye here, teased a little bit as well. The fanny pack was a big giveaway, so there's a couple of drawings. I don't have them. I apologize, I'm on the new PC here. I don't have much saved. So I don't have a lot of those renders saved here. I'm sure that they can be found. I don't know where to find them at the moment, and I wasn't able to get them up quick enough. But essentially, we were able to see a lot of different things going on here. So because of all this, we sort of were, it's familiar, and I think that's a really cool thing. So let's look at him real quick. Obviously, the fanny pack's pretty dope. I think there's some pretty interesting things there. I'm curious to know if he has another pocket slot because of it. But I mean, we'll see. So if we look at this closely, it looks like he is probably not wearing much, if any, armor. It doesn't look like he's wearing a plate carrier. It looks like he's specifically wearing a sniper rig. A pretty big backpack. It looks like it actually looks like a brown Beta 2 with the strap and all the shoulder straps and belly strap and stuff like that. It actually looks like a Beta 2, but it's tan, so maybe we're getting a tan Beta 2? I don't know. He's wearing some contacts. Those are pretty normal. It looks like he's got the Remington semi-automatic sniper rifle. Sniper system, sorry. Sniper system, that's the last S, or RSAS, for those that are more familiar with the Tarkov terminology. It doesn't, so what I've noticed with all 3 of the guns that they've showed for the rogue bosses, and obviously the first one, it's a grenade launcher, you're not going to do much with it. However, it did look like you can add a bunch of attachments to it, which I believe is pretty standard on the current games ones. By the way, if you see me slouching, this is what I do when I think about these videos and how I'm going to record them, and I always visually imagine myself like this. Hey guys, so this is how I talk now, and then I find myself actively doing that on accident. But it looks like he's got his RSAS. It's probably not going to be super stocked with stuff on it. I don't think that matters too much, as if we've seen a lot of the boss weapons, they don't really have much on them either. Most of what you go for bosses for are going to be for their armor and their rig and stuff like that. But for the most part, you don't really go after the weapons. However, this does mean that he's probably going to be farmable at the beginning of wipes or throughout wipes, maybe not farmable, but farmed, at least attempted to be farmed, because that RSAS is going to be worth, it's going to be worth a pretty penny to everybody because of the mechanic quest, the gunsmith quest. Personally, they've been very generous, and they've shown up about 10 times for me just randomly, and then I found them on players a couple times. So they do appear. It's unfortunate you can't sell them, but that would be nice, and this is probably a big reason why. If you're going to be able to farm this, it would destroy the value anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So that's interesting. It's going to be something to think about. He's obviously got his rogue tattoo. He's got a very nice jacket here, very very sniper-esque, keep him warm up in the mountains there a little bit. And on the back, he's honestly, that looks like a scar. It looks like this a very similar stubby scar to who's the other guy? To what Knight had. However, that might be a Scar L for a Scar Light, a 5.56 Scar, because more than likely he's going to be using his RSAS a little bit more than his Scar. But if you charge him, he's probably going to be like that. So so we've seen what I assume to be all 3 of the rogue bosses. Now, I'm recording this on April 6th. This is the day after they released them all. There could be more teasers today. I don't know, but I'm going to say probably not, because I think we're past the time where they showed the first one. So essentially, we have all 3 rogue bosses, and we know from Tarkov TV, or the podcast episode, that there are 4 bosses on this map. So, what we have to look at and think about, and something I didn't really think about until I think One Peg said something about it, is the 4th boss is probably the traitor. And the traitor probably only comes out at night. His name is Lightkeeper. As we've seen, and as I haven't really showed on this series, we have... So now we have Lightkeeper. And obviously, we have a few different things to be shown here. So, for obvious reasons, this is on Lighthouse. I don't think I'm surprising anybody by saying, look at the background and look at all the stuff. This is Lighthouse. Obviously, he's in what seems to be a lighthouse. But if you look in the background here, what looks like the Bay Bridge of California and San Francisco, you absolutely see this off the coast of the Lighthouse map when you're running down the beach, or even at the water treatment center. And then you got a little mountain like Alcatraz and stuff like that. Anyway, what we see here is a few different things. So, you guys have probably already heard about this. He was shown during Tarkov TV and stuff like that, but I haven't shown it on this series. He's wearing the obvious cultist eye that we see in all the marked rooms. And there's a good chance that he is probably the leader of the cultists. And we say this because, well, I mean, look at him. He seems like a man who has a vision. He seems like a guy who's very personable, which, if you're gonna be a leader, you gotta both be personable to your cult members, but you also, especially because of what he's gonna be doing, which we assume to be the traitor on the map, if that hasn't been confirmed already, the traitor on the map, which I assume you would go up to the lighthouse for. And apparently, from what you need to get access to the lighthouse via probably a quest or 2. And then you have to, it's probably going to be similar to Jaeger. And then you have to actually have specific items to give him, which we don't know about yet, to then trade with him. But one of the things, One Peg brought up an interesting idea in what we see in the glass here. On the left-hand side, you can barely see my mouse, but on the left-hand side here, we see what looks to be a dude in full cult crazy garb. It kind of looks very similar, in my opinion, to the skull that Knight wears, the rogue boss. And there's a possibility that rogues in the cult kind of work together, or at least they live in peace together. They coexist. That has nothing to do with the mask, but they're on the same map. I feel like there's something to that. Especially considering that USEC and the former USEC, aka Rogues, have very much claimed Lighthouse as their area, because, I mean, they took it over and they held it. So them striking a deal with the cult actually kind of makes sense because it's like, hey, we don't really like these PMCs running around anymore, doing all this stuff that we don't believe in anymore. You guys don't like this. Why don't we just coexist, right? They're probably not working together, but they're probably coexisting, and I think that's interesting to know. So we have a few different things. The guy in the glass, him wearing, having the necklace and being very nonchalant about it. But what One Peg's idea is, that's probably a mannequin, and that's probably his gear. That's probably Lightkeeper's gear that he puts on at night during cultist hours and comes and hunts you, which means it's another map that's going to have cultists. I think that is more than likely the correct answer. I haven't heard a better theory. That's more than likely the correct answer. I want to believe that he, as a trader, is not going to be alone up in his lighthouse while he's doing his tasks and trades. But he also might be somebody that's perfectly capable of taking care of himself. The only reason I say I don't want to believe this is because Nikita knows the game and knows the players and knows that the first thing people are going to do is shoot him. Just to either test the waters and see if he's easily killable. He's probably not going to be lootable because he's probably behind like a counter or something that you can't reach. But they're going to try to kill him, right? Just because. He's like the shopkeep in Risk of Rain 2 if you ever played that. So he's probably going to check that out, and I don't know. But the point is Nikita going to bring it up to the point of, well, if you kill him, you can't trade with him, so whatever. And essentially, the reason people would kill him is for a couple reasons. One, to test it out, see if it works. But two, if you trade with him and you get all this stuff from him and you then kill him, that means nobody else can trade with him after you. So you're basically making it so it's one trade per map, or you're making it so that nobody can trade with him after at all, even if you don't have trade items. So virtually blocking everybody on the map, probably going to be every single time people spawn into that map, especially if they have the closest spawn to that area. So this is why I want to not believe that he's going to be alone while he's doing his trading stuff. While I do think that One Peg's theory is probably the most accurate, I do want to believe that that's an actual guy or a hint of many other dudes that are just watching him from the shadows. Basically, if you pull out a gun or you start shooting or whatever happens, these guys start lighting you up. Which could be good, could be very bad. Could be good for other people, I mean. So if they come in and they see you've been killed, the trader's been killed, at least you can then take the stuff off of him. I don't know. I think that's another theory that's possible, because I don't want to believe that he's just going to be alone, even if he is capable of taking care of himself. Because, well, I mean, let's be honest. He is very much part of the cult, and he might be a cult leader. So the Verum Cognoscere at the bottom says to know the truth in Latin. That's something the leader would definitely say, and that's something that they would absolutely have there. Or it's just maybe it's something that they repeat as the cult. I don't know. The point is, I refuse to believe that he's going to be there alone. And if he's not alone, that could be one of his guards, essentially. He might be friendly, but he might have guards. So anyway, so they've shown a couple of things. They've shown a lot of the... I'll go through this in a different video, by the way. A lot of stuff they've already shown. And we have 3 rogue bosses. All probably gonna not have guards necessarily, but probably all be covered by rogues on the roofs and whatnot, and some on the ground. And they're probably gonna have different units. So you probably have one unit in each of the left and right buildings, and then who knows? Maybe Bird Eye has 2 spawns. He might have a rock spawn. He might have a back building spawn. Who knows? I would assume that all the bosses are going to be reachable, which means that maybe they won't be on rooftops, because you want to, like, literally every boss is lootable, and especially with the boss quest line, you got to get something from them. So I would assume that these guys are going to be in places that are not on the roofs, or they're going to give you access to the roof. I don't know. I would assume not giving you access to the roof is probably going to stay like that. But anyway, that's the new stuff. That's what I've seen so far. I will keep updating you with anything else I see. There will be a video coming soon of the full Tarkov TV episode recap. And yeah, I think we've got it covered. There's also another theory that not a theory, but there was somebody that mentioned that this is absolutely Clean's haircut. If you guys know the Tarkov content creator Clean, who's a good buddy of mine, that's absolutely his hairstyle. So, and I would believe that he can handle an RSAS pretty nicely. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you, and please watch the other videos and subscribe. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.